watched all the videos, but obviously Dungeons and Dragons
Welcome.
and Tyrant's Eye.
Yeah.
We're pretty excited to show it to you.
Yep.
So let's just go over some of the big features, and then we can dig into anything else you guys want to. So obviously the big star of the game is the dragon, the red dragon. Dungeons and Dragons, the dragon's there. There he is. Yeah. And what's really cool is the dragon has so many different functions. I think more functions than any other mech in a game, really. So he can move up and down, right, left and right, over a whole wath of the playfield here, right, all the way up to the top. Wrath. Oh, wrath of the playfield. Ooh, I see what you did there. So he can move up and down. Because he can move up and down, he can also block you from hitting his gold 3 banks under. You're trying to steal his hoard, right, from him. He's trying to protect it. But he can also block like the right orbit, and he can block the upper loop up here from the upper flipper and stuff if we want to at times. We also know where he is position-wise at all times, so if we want to fire down the center or toward the outlanes or something, right, we can make that as part of a battle. That's even tougher. So not only does he have this full freedom of motion, he's also a bash choice, so you can hit his chin when he lowers down low enough to be able to be hit. And you can hit it from any direction, right? So it's like this omnidirectional sensing switch inside there.
It's like a pop bumper.
Yeah, like so the upper flipper, lower flippers, anything, you can get hits on him. And then, of course, the big thing is that he can shoot fire at you. Well, pinball's not quite fire, but in a battle, it's really intense. So we can auto-load the dragon from the shooter. So there's a diverter in the back that opens up, and we can continuously load him. He also holds balls. Right? Inside of him, we usually keep 3 balls inside of him and 5 in front. So there's 8 balls in the game. Oh. So at any moment, right, when a battle starts, he can fire those balls out. And we're gonna have all sorts of different varieties and stuff of the battles. But talk a little bit about the actual battle if you get in one, Dwight.
Well, sure. You it's not a multi-ball per se. It's a battle. Like you said, you have a shield. You can tap the action button and bring your shield up. The dragon is spitting balls at you, and we're constantly feeding balls back into it. And if you, this is Brian's idea, but I don't know why I'm describing it because he just because he's giving me a chance to talk. But it's got like a score going on the screen, and if he drains 10 balls on you, or 15 balls now, because this is the CES setup, these games are set up easy. You guys are going to destroy it. So if he drains 15 balls on you before you hit him 6 times, he wins. And then all the balls drain. The flippers are turned off. All the balls drain, and he kicks out 1 ball, and then you're back into just normal play. But if you hit him 6 times before you drain 15, and ball save's going the whole time, so it's not like a normal multi-ball. Ball save's going the whole time, and it's just a battle against the dragon.
But now, it's counting drains.
But it's counting drains. Every time you drain, it goes down a notch. Yep. Meanwhile, there's still jackpots and super jackpots you can collect, but it's hard to do, especially if you're new. Mostly you just want to destroy him, and then that takes you to Town Celebration multi-ball. And then that's more of a victory laps, kind of just a point gathering thing. Point-wise, the game, so we've been shoveling games and stuff into this game for the last few weeks, and the score balancing is really out of whack. So please don't yell at me too much.
And when you get like 5 billion, don't think you're great.
That means you hit a target.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the dragon.
Yeah, so like Dwight was saying, right, we really do want it to feel like a battle when you're in it. It's intense. So he does a lot of different things. So that's the Premium Alley version of the dragon, the Pro version of the dragon. He looks the same. He has the same sensing technology for a bash toy, but he doesn't shoot pinballs, and he goes up and down. So we can still play with the difficulty of how long he comes down to be hit, and up and down, and different patterns with that. But he doesn't obviously have the ability to move all around and block shots and know where he's shooting and stuff like that.
And Brian,
that's the cool stuff.
This is a molded mech. You haven't 3D printed it.
No. Yeah, this is completely molded.
Yeah.
The ones in the photo shoot were 3D printed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ones in the
But that was just because we needed to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a while back.
How does multi-ball work in the Pro if it's not?
It's 6 balls. It's 6 balls constantly fed from the drop.
So it's just
and they come around out this orbit here.
Got it.
And it's pretty much the same. The ball saver's running the entire time. If you drain X balls before you hit them 6 times, you lose.
Got it.
And Dwight, if Game of Thrones is the deepest code and Monsters is the less deepest, where does it sit?
This is by far deeper than Game of Thrones.
Oh wow,
That's
awesome!
This is
By far this is the most ambitious game I've ever worked on.
Excellent.
So just touch on that for a second, right? There's a map here. Like usually, at a high level, at 20,000 feet, it's the same game you guys have played forever, right?
Yeah.
It's got multi-balls and modes, and there's ways to qualify the modes. You qualify the mode, you play a mode, maybe you stack a mode with a multi-ball. It's exactly the same as that. But if you zoom in, the way we're qualifying modes is kind of unique and fun. You have this map of 7 locations, and all of the 6 of the locations have modes and wizard modes sort of attached to them. And you sort of travel around this map, doing a little mini mode called traveling, where you just shoot 3 shots and you're in a new location. You shoot 3 shots, you're in a new location. But while you're there, you can play modes and multi-balls. So it's all
Awesome.
the same, but at the same time, it's
flavor for D&D.
unique.
It feels like you're going on an adventure. It feels like you're taking
Yeah.
a trek somewhere. And depending on your choices, it actually changes to one of 3 different endings too.
Oh,
So are you trying to get the Darkhold? Is that the...
No, Darkhold is just a bonus round. Darkhold is the only location that doesn't have modes and wizard modes around it. It's every time you play one of the wizard modes, there's 6 wizard modes. Oh, that's where I was going with that. The differences between this and Monsters and Game of Thrones. This has so on the map there are 6 wizard modes and 12 regular modes. Then, once you finish that, you work your way toward one of 3 different endings, which are
Depending on your choices.
3
Yeah.
other very large wizard modes.
right.
And if you beat those, you get to unlock another class, another
Yeah.
character you can choose at the beginning.
And all that is saved between games, more or
Yeah.
less?
Yeah, so everything's saved. So your progression along the map, once you completed, is all saved. You can pick up where you left
And
off.
that way, it's sort of Venom 2.0. Venom, the leveling up, and Venom, the leveling up, and your XP was attached to the player. Here, it's attached to your character, right? When you push start, it starts over here, isn't it? You get 4 characters, just like Turtles and Star Wars and Venom, right?
choice.
But the XP and the level is attached to that character. The location where they are on the map when you finish is attached to that character.
Right.
If you don't choose that character on your next game, you start back at the beginning again,
Okay.
or wherever
So
they
each one's
were,
their own uniqueness.
or wherever they were, right? And then when you unlock more, eventually you have 6, 7, 5, 6, and 7 characters.
Awesome.
Okay.
So, I mean, our hope is that people will play for a long time, right, to get to the end of the story, and then they have to beat the final mode to be able to unlock.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to do that over and over again.
And that's another, wait, so just a second, sorry. That's another major difference from Venom is, on Venom, the higher level, the easier it was to beat the bosses. Here,
Yeah.
it's the opposite. The game scales to an extent. It scales. Like these early modes, sometimes you're fighting rats, right? And when you're first level, you fight 3 rats. But maybe when you're 12th level, you're gonna, it's gonna peg, but you're gonna fight like 5 rats or 7 rats. The game scales depending on what level you are to make it more challenging at each step. Very different from Venom. The difference
More
is
like D&D.
you're going to work your way through the dungeons, and the game will remember where you are. And eventually, even if you spend 3 games on one dungeon, working your way through the levels, eventually you're going to get to like the boss level, and you will win or lose against that boss level. And if you win, you unlock that character. And if you lose, either way, you're done with the campaign. The campaign's over with, and you'll start back over again.
But your character will still be leveled up and have all its items and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Is there
you
an
still have
action
your
button?
magic items and so forth. Yeah.
Is there action button perks that are like different per character, or is that
Currently no.
okay? But
So
are there
it's
perks
not
for the
completely
action
true.
button?
So
or-
like, huh?
are there perks for the action button, or is it only related
Yeah.
to the dragon?
No, the button does 2 things. Two main things. It raises your shield when it's flashing orange. It raises your shield. We're going to get to that in a second. And I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Sorry, guys. But the other thing that it does is when you're in a battle. There's monsters on the screen. There's 34 monsters in the game, probably more by today.
more coming.
And more coming. But when you're in a battle, there's monsters on the screen. Some of the shots are flashing red, and if your ranged weapon is ready, this will be flashing blue. You can hold it down, and these small arrows right here will flash, and then one blue arrow will move back and forth. And if you let it go lined up with the red arrow, it'll shoot at your ranged weapon
Oh, nice.
at the bad guy. If you're a wizard, it's not in there today, but if you're a wizard, it'll shoot like a magic missile or later a fireball.
Okay,
Yes.
so it does change somewhat.
Yeah.
And each of the characters that he was showing you have a specialty in the
Yeah.
game. Like one has more shield time, one's better at hitting the dragon, right? So they do have specialties. So you'll pick your favorite. Or you'll try them all, and since they all have individual save slots. Okay, we'll jump back
Yep.
to, okay, so.
Go back to the script.
That's the dragon, that's the difference between the pro and premium, so Gelatinous Cube is probably the next one. If you know D&D, everybody knows what a gelatinous cube is. It's this kind of invisible thing that people just tend to run into and they get stuck into, and it dissolves them and eats them. So we put that in the game, and we we do that by having a magnet inside, right? So if you shoot up there, it'll grab the ball and hold it. It'll kick out another ball, and then you can either try to shoot back up that same shot and knock it out for like a 2-ball multi-ball, or you can shoot under the cube and it'll grab with the magnet underneath the cube. So then you'll have 2 balls locked and it'll kick out another one, and then you can either shoot underneath it again for a 3-ball multi-ball or shoot up the left orbit ramp here to start a 4-ball multi-ball. So it's really, it could be a 2, 3, or 4-ball multi-ball by what you do. And it's pretty cool to see all the balls being held and locked up like that too.
Does the Pro have both magnets?
Pro has the exact same
It's
thing.
just one magnet.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
one.
there's one,
one magnet with the core on both sides.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
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 So it catches on top and below.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, nice.
And the other thing cool about having that magnet on the bottom is it's a soft feed to the upper flipper. So you notice when you play, there's a number of shots like the left eject over here, which will sometimes grab the ball and then give you a soft feed to the flipper. So we find for like average players who have a hard time with upper flippers, and the ball goes so fast they don't even realize it, this gives you a nice soft feed to the flipper and gives you a few seconds to like realize it's coming and then flip, which makes the upper loop shots and the upper ramp here much easier to hit for them. And it really starts tying into the flow of the game too once you start hitting the upper flipper shots and with the lower ones too.
So you can put a ball behind the one that's on the bottom, and then another one on top to get 4-ball multi-ball?
Yeah, yeah. One under, one inside, and then
And then the second one on top.
second one on top.
Oh, the
Yeah.
second one on top.
And
And
then
then
you go
the-
under, it's a
yeah.
3-ball. If you go on top, it's a 4-ball.
He's got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we'll kick another ball on for a 4-ball.
Ah, fun.
So lots of choices. Okay, so that's the gelatinous cube. The next one I'd say is probably the dungeon. This is only on the premium and LE as a physical device. So the dungeon is in the center here. It pops up, and it's a limited time for you to try to get into the dungeon, and then it goes down.
Dungeon crawl.
And takes you into a dungeon crawl. Yeah, and this is your classic dungeon crawl, right? Looking perspective down into a dungeon. And go ahead and play.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
You're
really-
itching.
I know, I was.
Okay,
I'm
go.
sorry. So the dungeon crawl is kind of fun. It's unique. It's sort of, it looks like a video mode, but it's really a pinball mode. You make shots to work your way down hallways and make right-hand turns and so forth. And then every time you come to an intersection, the ball will be held. There'll be purple shots. You'll shoot a purple shot. The ball will be held, and then you've got like 3 seconds to go. Am I going left, or am I going right, or am I going straight? This is always straight. The arrows show you what you're doing, and then
What can happen?
Well, what can happen is you're going to proceed deeper into the dungeon, but you could find one of 3 different exits. There's a trap, which is just going to give you some points and you're out. There are stairs, which gives you bonus points and you're out. Or you could find an award room, which gives you one of 5 different bonuses, and then and the regular bonus, and you're out. Or you could find a room with monsters in it, which then is puts you deeper in the dungeon, but you have to fight the monsters first, and so forth.
And there's 5 levels.
There's 5 levels, but
Each one bigger than the one before.
yeah. But the cool thing is things that are random, like this and other things in the game, are changed every week. So every week on Sunday, the entire game, everything that's random will change, and it'll stay the same all throughout the week. So there's really no randomness per se in the game during that week, and then on Sunday everything changes again.
And this is obviously for Insider Connected, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody is playing the same thing every week.
All over the world.
You change it, yeah.
So like your first level dungeon will look the same for the guy in England, or Alabama, right, or whatever.
What if you live in Australia and you don't have any internet access?
If you don't have
Sorry,
internet,
Australians.
So no matter where you are, if you're not connected, it'll just be random every single time.
Right, okay.
Like if you don't have
Like
it'll
any
just be
other
a normal
pinball.
game.
Yeah.
It'll just be random every single time
It'll
you play.
stay for that whole game, the randomness that chooses.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you go in a dungeon, you can still remember the pathways
Yeah.
to the good stuff.
Yep. But then but if you are connected in Australia, you'll have the same dungeons I have here in Chicago.
Yeah, cool.
It's a maze, basically.
Until
So
Sunday.
pathways-
Until Sunday Chicago time.
Okay.
So would that be
Brave.
a code update every Sunday?
Nope.
No, it just changes.
It
It knows.
procedurally generates an algorithm in the dungeon.
So is that RNG that's just in the game?
Yeah.
But it's got to be on Insider Connected to get that update.
It has to be Insider connected to
No.
to
Be safe with
Remember what you're
everybody.
doing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so if you don't have any internet or anything, is it just
generate a unique one every time you play?
Okay, so every time you play, it'll be a brand new.
It'll stay that way for the whole
It'll
game.
feel like a
Yeah.
normal random game if you're not connected.
Okay.
And you're not actually downloading code. You're just pushing a new random seed or something, right?
The exact way it's done, we don't need to discuss here.
Okay. All right. That sounds like a challenge.
So that's that.
Okay, so that's the dungeon. So that's on the premium in LE, the pop-up. So we use it for that dungeon crawl feature. Plus we use it in some of the modes too. So there's a bunch of different times that the dungeon will pop up, and you have different methods of getting in and how we play in the mode with it. So on the Pro, it doesn't have the physical dungeon. Just has a light and a cover, but we use the VUC to simulate the mode. So you can still play the mode on the Pro, you just don't get the physicality of it.
Where's
So
the ball kick out after the dungeon?
it pops back up and it comes right out.
wow.
So it sucks it in, and then when it kicks up, it
There's no
comes right
subway
out.
or anything underneath.
Nope, no subway.
Where does it
Holds
stop the
pulls
ball?
it down.
Like a mousetrap.
On
Yeah.
the Pro, any of the shots that it can stop the ball at?
Yeah, on the Pro, the shot-wise, all the ramps and loops and the ball holds and stuff are all the same.
Yeah, in addition to the things you've been talking about, there's an up-down ramp and there's a post.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
post
true.
on the
We
ramp
haven't
right here.
talked about that.
So those are other devices. Like both two ramps feed this post, and those are the
And that
ways
allows
to
us to have you make choices and other stuff in the game. And the up-down ramp is what leads to the gelatinous cube. So when you make a shot right now around the orbit, and it pulls the ramp down, so then the next one up goes through the cube. And it could grab it.
It might
Yeah,
grab it,
it's a
and
chance.
then it might not.
Usually by the second time
It's
around, it'll grab it.
procedurally generated.
I
I like that word.
Cover
I think I'm using the word wrong, but I like it anyway.
Yeah.
So the dungeon shot on the Pro, is that into the buck here? Through the spin?
Correct.
Okay, and then does the ball stay in there then the whole time you're in the dungeon, or does it kick out on the Pro?
Well, no, the dungeon crawl is a pinball feature.
Yeah,
where
so
the
it
ball
kicks out.
It's not a video mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly physical. The only video part is the choices you make.
Yeah,
each
you
direction.
whenever you come to a decision point, it's held and you can choose really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing is you're remembering, oh, level 1 this week is left, left, right for that extra ball, right? Or it's or the trap is left, left, right, or whatever, right? And then you can tell your friends or not. It's up to you.
Yep. Okay, what else? Okay, we did touch upon the shield. The shield is player controlled. When it's lit, you can tap the button really quick and the shield will pop up. Great against dragon battles, but also great against any of the battles, or if you see the ball coming right down the middle, if you're quick enough, you can tap it and then pop up.
How do you recharge your shield?
Couple
You-
ways. You know.
So you get one for pushing start, you get one for starting dragon battles, but you can stack 2 at a time. And then you get one every time you complete the lower lanes. So you often have shield lit. And if it's flashing orange, that's shield. The shield is lit.
Up to a limit, obviously. So there's obviously lots of cascading looping ramps. We have a couple shots on the upper flipper, but what's kind of cool about the upper flipper is it can make it in the dungeon, it can even make it in the buck. It can hit the critical hit captive ball that's up
It's
here.
hard to hit in the buck.
It is hard to get in the buck.
Yeah, but it can hit the dragon.
It can hit the dragon too, yeah. So there's a lot of options with all the flippers in the game, which makes it fun. There's even a little secret temple shot behind the flipper here that gives the light double scoring.
It's the only double scoring multiplier in the game.
Yeah, for a Dwight game, that's
I listen to you guys.
Is that in the Pro too?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
The
yes.
only thing not in the Pro is the dragon doesn't move left and right or spit out balls, and the dungeon doesn't come up.
missing. But the gelatinous cube is there, and all the ball stops and ejects.
And the shield is there.
Shield, all that stuff's there. Yeah. So
And
it's
the
a pretty
really cool
loaded
rules
pro.
are there.
I saw there's a team mode. Is that
The what?
different? There's a team mode. Is that different than other games,
Oh,
or is
yeah.
it kind of the similar?
Team mode I've been doing for a while now. Rich Babbage actually asked for that on Turtles or before, but he's talking about this.
Gameplay menu.
You can do 2v2, 3v1, or 2v1. Competition, prolonged competition. You can reset all progress, which doesn't work yet. there's not going to be a speed run. No, that's got to come out of the game.
No, I like speedrun.
There's no speed
see?
Get him on the top to get the speedrun.
So can both players pick different characters in the?
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, D&D is about choices.
Yeah,
Do
talk about
whatever you
co-op
want.
a little, because that still ties into that.
Who here has played D&D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good. The co-op mode, because that ties in well with
Yeah.
D&D too.
Well, co-op mode is like have you seen co-op mode on other games before?
Yeah.
Right. It's very very similar, but like here it sort of fits